What if the bike you fell in love with on the showroom floor is destined to become a lead weight in your financial life? What if its value plummets so fast, so completely, that by 2026 you'd be lucky to get back a fraction of what you paid? This isn't a guess. It's a forecast based on market trends, brand reputation, and the unforgiving reality of what riders actually want in the long run. We've identified 12 specific models that, for a variety of painful reasons, are set to become nearly worthless by 2026. Stay with us because the motorcycle you're about to buy, or the one you already own, might be on this list. Number 12. Harley-Davidson Sportster S. The Harley-Davidson Sportster S is a motorcycle born from a paradox. It takes the legendary Sportster name, a name associated with raw, simple, air-cooled rebellion for over 60 years, and attaches it to a high-tech, liquid-cooled, muscle bike that shares nothing but a badge with its predecessors. It's a radical reinvention, a powerful and visually striking machine. But by 2026, it will be one of the worst depreciating models in Harley's lineup because it fundamentally misunderstands its own audience. The traditional Sportster crowd, who love the old bike for its simplicity and endless customization potential, sees the Sportster S as an alien creature. It's too complex, too stylized, and too far removed from the ethos of the original. Meanwhile, the new audience it's trying to attract, riders looking for modern performance, has a wealth of more established and often better performing options from brands like Ducati and Yamaha. So like the Nightster, it exists in a lonely middle ground. Its roughly $15,000 new price feels steep for a bike so disconnected from its heritage. The market will agree, and by 2026, values will have been slashed in half, dropping into the $6,000 to $7,000 territory. In short, the Sportster S is a financial misstep because it abandoned the loyal fan base that made its name legendary, leaving it to compete in a modern market where it is simply outmatched. Number 11. Triumph Rocket 3. The Triumph Rocket 3 isn't a motorcycle, it's a statement. It's a glorious, unapologetic celebration of excess built around the largest production motorcycle engine on the planet. The sheer torque can feel like it's trying to reverse the Earth's rotation. It's an incredible thrill, a machine of pure ego. But what happens when the novelty wears off? By 2026, owners of the Rocket 3 will discover that they are left with a monstrously impractical and financially ruinous machine. Its gargantuan size makes it a chore to handle at low speeds, and its thirst for fuel and tires is legendary. Insurance premiums are sky high, and finding a mechanic who is truly comfortable working on its unique engine can be a challenge. This is a niche within a niche bike, and the pool of potential second-hand buyers is incredibly small. The steep new price, upwards of $23,000, sets the stage for a brutal depreciation cliff. In just a few years, as the initial thrill seekers look to offload these behemoths, the market will be unable to absorb them. Resale values are projected to crater, landing in the $9,000 to $10,000 range. That's a loss equivalent to the price of an entire, brand new motorcycle. In short, the Rocket 3 is a terrible long-term investment because its extreme impracticality and sky-high running costs shrink the pool of potential used buyers to almost zero. Number 10. Kawasaki Eliminator. The Kawasaki Eliminator presents itself as the perfect entry point into the world of cruisers. It's low, it's manageable, and it carries a price tag that seems almost too good to be true. And that's precisely where the trap is set. On the surface, it's an intelligent, budget-friendly choice for a new rider or a city commuter. But the motorcycle market is a brutal landscape, and what makes the Eliminator attractive in the short term is exactly what will cripple its value by 2026. Its smaller displacement engine, while adequate for learning, lacks the soul-stirring torque and highway-commanding presence that American cruiser buyers demand in the long term. This isn't a machine rider's dream of passing down to their children. It's a stepping stone, and the used market is flooded with them. When 2026 arrives, the initial appeal will have faded, leaving a sea of used examples competing for a shrinking pool of buyers. That attractive new price of around $7,000 will seem like a distant memory when the resale value struggles to stay above $3,000. New owners will face a staggering 50% or more loss in just a couple of years. It's a disposable appliance in a world of heirloom machines, a temporary solution that comes with a permanent financial sting. For a brief moment, it's a smart buy, but for anyone with an eye on the future, the Eliminator is a guaranteed route to financial disappointment. In short, this bike is a financial trap because it's a disposable entry-level machine in a market that only values long-term keepers, guaranteeing its value will evaporate. Number 9. Harley-Davidson Nightster. The Harley-Davidson Nightster is a motorcycle caught in a painful identity crisis, and by 2026, that confusion will have destroyed its value. Harley-Davidson built its empire on a specific feeling, the earth-shaking rumble of a big V-twin, heavy steel, and a timeless connection to a rebellious heritage. The Nightster, with its modern, liquid-cooled Revolution Max engine and lighter, more nimble frame, is a well-engineered motorcycle, but it's not a well-understood Harley. It was designed to attract a new, younger audience, but in doing so, it has alienated the brand's loyal base. The result is a machine that doesn't fully satisfy either camp. Traditional Harley enthusiasts find the engine too refined, lacking the raw, visceral character they crave. Meanwhile, new riders drawn to its modern performance can find better, more reliable, and cheaper options from Japanese and European brands. This leaves the Nightster stranded in a no-man's land of the market. Its new price tag, starting around $13,000, places it in a premium category, but its resale value will tell a different story. By 2026, expect these to languish on dealership floors and online listings in the $6,000 to $7,000 range. Owners will be paying for the premium Harley badge at the dealership, but the market will treat it like an off-brand imitation. In short, the Nightster is a guaranteed money loser because its confused identity alienates the loyal Harley base and fails to offer enough value to win over riders from other brands. Number 8. Indian Scout 60. The Indian Scout 60 is a classic case of a brand watering down its own legend. It wears the iconic Indian script on its tank, a name synonymous with American motorcycle history and premium quality. It promises entry into that exclusive club for a lower price. But the compromises made to hit that price point are precisely what will make it financially toxic by 2026. The smaller 60 cubic inch engine, while perfectly adequate, lacks the punch and roll-on power of its bigger brother, the standard Scout. In the American market, where displacement is king, adequate is a death sentence for long-term value. Riders who buy the Scout 60 often do so with the intention of upgrading later, creating a constant churn in the used market. This flood of entry-level models means that by 2026, the market will be saturated. A new Scout 60 costs around $11,000, a price that feels justifiable for a premium brand. However, the reality of depreciation will hit hard and fast. Expect to see resale values plummeting into the $5,000 to $6,000 range, a catastrophic loss for the owner. It has to compete with Japanese cruisers that offer superior reliability and similar performance for less money, and it simply can't win that fight. In short, this Indian is a poor investment because it's a watered-down legend, carrying a premium price for a compromised experience that simply can't compete in the used market. Number 7. Harley-Davidson Pan America. The Harley-Davidson Pan America was one of the boldest, most shocking moves in the company's history. A full-throated leap into the hardcore adventure bike segment. It was a gamble of epic proportions, an attempt to conquer a territory fiercely defended by battle-hardened kings like BMW's GS and KTM's Adventure Series. And while the bike itself is impressively capable, by 2026, it will stand as a monument to a failed campaign. The adventure riding community is built on a foundation of absolute, uncompromising trust in a machine's ability to survive the harshest conditions, thousands of miles from home. This trust is earned over decades, not launched with a marketing campaign. The Pan America, with its complex high-performance engine and reports of electronic gremlins, simply hasn't earned that trust. Riders who spend nearly $20,000 on an adventure bike are buying an insurance policy against being stranded in the wilderness. And the Harley name, so revered in the cruiser world, means very little here. This creates a crisis of confidence that will decimate its resale value. By 2026, as early adopters move on, these bikes will be changing hands for as little as $7,000 to $8,000. That's a loss of over 60% of its initial value. In short, the Pan America is a financial disaster because it's a cruiser brand trying to survive in an adventure market that demands a level of trust and long-term reliability it simply hasn't earned. Number 6. Indian Chief. The Indian Chief carries one of the most storied names in motorcycling. It evokes images of wide-open roads and a bygone era of classic American iron. The modern Chief aims to capture that spirit, blending timeless style with contemporary performance. The problem is, in the hyper-competitive world of V-twin cruisers, nostalgia isn't enough to guarantee value. By 2026, the Indian Chief will be struggling under the weight of its own legacy, unable to compete with the ironclad reputation of its arch-rival, Harley-Davidson. While its Thunderstroke engine is a solid performer, it hasn't established the same reputation for bulletproof, million-mile durability that defines the Harley-Davidson Big Twin. In the used cruiser market, buyers are notoriously conservative. They want proven reliability and a vast, easily accessible network for parts and service. While Indian's network is growing, it still pales in comparison to Harley's. This creates a tangible risk for second-hand buyers, which directly impacts value. A new Chief commands a premium price, often in the $15,000 to $16,000 range. But the market correction will be severe. By 2026, many of these bikes will be struggling to fetch $6,000 to $7,000. In short, the Chief's value collapses because in the head-to-head battle with Harley-Davidson, it lacks the ironclad reputation for reliability and the vast dealer support that the used market demands. Number 5. Yamaha MT-10. The Yamaha MT-10 is a pure, unadulterated shot of adrenaline. With its aggressive Master of Torque branding and a detuned engine derived from the legendary R1 Superbike, it's a hooligan in street clothes. It offers a riding experience that is nothing short of electrifying. For that reason, it's a fantastic motorcycle for about a year. By 2026, the very things that make the MT-10 so exciting are what will cause its value to evaporate. This is not a practical, everyday machine. Its high-strung engine demands premium fuel and meticulous maintenance, and its aggressive ergonomics aren't built for long-distance comfort. It's a specialized weapon for weekend canyon carving, not a versatile daily rider. The used market for high-performance naked bikes is notoriously fickle. Buyers are often looking for a bargain thrill, and they are wary of complex electronics and the potential for high repair bills on a bike that was likely ridden hard. The MT-10's new price of around $12,000 is fair for the performance it offers, but it has no staying power. As newer, more advanced models hit the market, the MT-10 will quickly become yesterday's news. By 2026, finding one for around $6,000 will be common. In short, the MT-10's value plummets because its aggressive, high-maintenance character is a major red flag for savvy used buyers who fear the high costs of owning a hard-ridden performance machine. Number 4. BMW R18. The BMW R18 is a stunning piece of German engineering, a rolling sculpture built around a massive air-cooled boxer engine that is a work of art in itself. It was BMW's audacious attempt to storm the gates of the American cruiser market and take a piece of Harley-Davidson's kingdom. But it was a profound miscalculation. The R18 is a motorcycle that was designed by engineers who respected the cruiser aesthetic but didn't truly understand the cruiser soul. While it is impeccably built, its riding experience is quirky, with the massive cylinders creating a unique side-to-side torque reaction that is very different from the familiar V-twin Pulse. It's a German interpretation of an American classic, and for most buyers in the USA, it just feels off. The bike's enormous size and weight also limit its appeal, making it less practical than its competitors. But the biggest factor is culture. The American cruiser market is built on heritage and brand loyalty, and the BMW Roundel, so respected elsewhere, is seen as an outsider here. This has led to slow sales and massive depreciation. A new R18 starts at over $21,000, a huge investment. By 2026, that investment will have been decimated, with resale values expected to fall into the $10,000 to $11,000 range. In short, the R18 is a massive financial loser because it is a German engineering masterpiece that fundamentally misunderstands the culture and soul of the American cruiser market it was built for. Number 3. Harley-Davidson Street 500. The Harley-Davidson Street 500 will be remembered not as a motorcycle, but as a marketing blunder. Conceived to be a global, entry-level product to attract new riders in emerging markets and training schools, it was a Harley built to a price, not to a standard. And it felt like it. The fit, finish, and material quality were a significant step down from the rest of the lineup. The small, liquid-cooled engine, while functional, lacked any of the character or sound that defines the brand. It was a Harley in name only, a hollow echo of the real thing. Riders felt this immediately. The bike was quickly seen as the cheap Harley, a stigma it could never shake. New riders who bought one often sold it within a year to upgrade to a real Harley, flooding the market with low-mileage examples that nobody wanted. The bike has since been discontinued in the US, which is the final nail in its coffin. By 2026, the Street 500 will be an orphan model with little to no factory support and a tarnished reputation. Its new price was an affordable $7,000, but its future value is practically zero. You'll be lucky to find a buyer willing to pay $3,000 for a pristine example. In short, the Street 500 is fundamentally worthless because it's a cheaply built, discontinued orphan model that has been completely abandoned by both the Harley brand and the riding community. Number 2. Indian Scout Bobber. The Indian Scout Bobber is the motorcycle that will be the most financially punishing to own by 2026, and the reason is simple. It is the victim of its own trendiness. When it was released, the Bobber style was at the absolute peak of its popularity, and the Scout Bobber perfectly captured that aggressive, stripped-down aesthetic. It was and is a very cool-looking motorcycle that sold in huge numbers, but trends by their very nature fade. The problem with buying the it bike of the moment is that in a few years it becomes the that was cool then bike. The Scout Bobber's value is deeply tied to a specific, fleeting moment in motorcycle culture. As tastes shift towards other styles, the massive number of Scout Bobbers that were sold will come flooding onto the used market. This will create a perfect storm for depreciation, high supply, and waning demand. While its engine is a decent performer, it faces the same not enough punch criticism as the Scout 60 in a market that values power. A brand new Scout Bobber costs around $12,000. By 2026, owners will be facing the brutal reality of a market that has moved on. Resale values are projected to collapse into the $5,000 to $6,000 range. In short, the Scout Bobber is the worst investment on this list because its massive popularity during a fleeting trend guarantees a flooded used market just as buyer interest in that specific style fades away. Number 1. Triumph Bonneville Bobber. The Triumph Bonneville Bobber is, without a doubt, one of the most beautiful factory-built motorcycles on the market. Its stripped-down, single-seat, hardtail look design is a masterpiece of minimalist style. It looks like it rolled straight out of a custom bike show. It's a machine that is almost guaranteed to get you compliments every time you stop. However, by 2026, its stunning looks will be the only thing it has going for it, because as a practical, valuable motorcycle, it fails on almost every level. The very things that make it look so good are what make it so impractical. The single seat means you can never share the ride. The minimal suspension offers a harsh ride on anything but perfect pavement, and there's virtually no storage or long-distance capability. It is, in essence, a bar hopper, a motorcycle designed for short, stylish trips. The problem is, the market for such a specialized, impractical machine is incredibly small. Most riders, even those captivated by its beauty, eventually need more versatility. A new Bobber costs a significant $14,000. That's a lot to pay for a bike that can only do one thing. As owners tire of its limitations and put them up for sale, they will find very few takers. By 2026, its value will have been cut in half, dropping to the $6,000 to $7,000 range. In short, this beautiful bike is a financial trap because its extreme solo-focused impracticality makes it a useless proposition for the vast majority of riders, destroying its resale demand. And there they are, the 12 models heading for a financial cliff. A motorcycle should be a source of joy, not a constant reminder of a costly mistake. True riding freedom isn't just about the open road, it's freedom from financial regret. Before you sign that check, remember that the smartest riders look beyond the showroom shine. Let passion guide your heart, but let knowledge protect your wallet. Ride smart, and your investment will be as solid as your memories.